Guys, I am live again. So this is the second session of the day. Let me check the reception. Hi Pooja. So we'll wait for 2 minutes for others to join. Yeah, Sahana has joined. Please let me know the audio video reception, whether it is okay or not. Right, great. So Vikrant has joined. So guys, I think others are joining. Yeah, it was a bio break also. Let's understand that. For 2 minutes we'll be waiting. So the flow will be like this for today. At 10 o'clock we'll break for fruit breakfast. At 9 o'clock, sorry. And 10 o'clock we'll reassemble again for another 2 hours of session. And that also will have splits according to the topics. In between we'll have breaks. And at 10 o'clock we might start the next topic, because this will take 50 minutes odd. Yes. Yeah, Tathapi joined. It's a thick fog outside. I just saw in Agra. What about Delhi? Delhi is foggy today. Pooja is from Delhi. Nandini is also. Sahana in Bangalore. Tathapi is in which place? Tathapi, are you in? Okay, you are in Ahmedabad, if I'm not wrong. Vikrant, Pune. Yeah, so let me check if there is any message in. I don't catch the last part. I was seeing on my daughter at bus stop. Meet at 10 then. Huh? Oh, Nandini was under impression that 10. We are live, Nandini. Anyway, let's start. Because the recordings are anyway available. Who else are left? 3 people. Nandini, Ranga, another guy. Asha. Yeah. Okay, let them join. Right, guys. So this is our primary topic, because we are here to learn this framework. And this framework will help us to sync our life with nature. That is the primary objective of creating this framework, and you will be able to relate with your lives very easily, congruently. Now, before going to the frameworks, we need to actually understand little bit about the colors. In your study materials also, you'll see there are a lot of colors have been used in respective articles, respective chapters rather, and those have got meanings. Those have got meanings behind it. Now let's understand the meanings behind it. Those colors have been put in conjunction with the speed of the colors. You know, the colors do have speed. It has got frequencies, wavelengths. So the white light can be split into 7 colors. We know this, the rainbow, right? Now the rainbow, the Vivgeur, violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. So this has got some series and this has got some meaning behind. Scientifically, the meaning is the red has got the least frequency. The red has got the least frequency and the violet has got the highest frequency. And now frequency is equivalent to the speed. So that means the speed of red is the least. And as you see in this half circle, the red is the longest and the largest here. So largest, why? Because it moves slowly. The red moves slowly, so it stays more. You see the traffic light? The red is used to stop. And red is very slow in its frequency. That is why it stays in our eyes longer. If something goes slow, then it stays longer in our eyes, right? If something goes slow, then it stays longer in our eyes. If something goes fast, then it stays lesser in our eyes. We need to understand and identify these colors. So the violet is a fast color, fastest color. And the red is the slowest color. So the violet is the fastest color and the red is the slowest color. If that is so, then what about the green? You see? Yeah, guys, Nandini says no video. Why? What about others? Let me check the reception here. How come there is no video? It's your network problem, Nandini, for sure, because the reception is pretty good here without any buffering. Right. So I was talking about red being the fastest color and red being the slowest color and violet being the fastest color. Red being the slowest color and violet being the fastest color. What about the green? That was my question. Now 1, 2, 3 and here 1, 2, 3. So if we discard first 3 and the next 3, these colors are actually in terms of their frequencies. So the least frequency at the top, then next, then next, then next, like this. So the green is the 0. Green is the neutral. So the neutral color is a green. Green has got the neutral speed. The frequency is in between. And going forward, we'll realize and we'll establish and we'll understand and assimilate also that the neutral is the best. And see around all the static lives that you see around are nothing but greens. So this is absolutely nature's indication about the neutrality, and they are absolutely healthy, most of the trees. So being neutral is the most healthy state. Being neutral is the most healthy state. So the violet, the fastest, are the formless. The fastest are the formless. Energy, the vitality. We cannot show our vitality. We can execute some action, then action can be shown, action can be visible, but the vitality cannot be visible. So the formless is the fastest, which doesn't stay in the eyes. And we have got Einstein giving us the special relativity theorem. The special relativity theory is E equals to mc square, right? So now E is the energy, m is the mass, and c is the speed of light. Right? So this has got a tremendous meaning to explain the relation between form and formless. So this energy is nothing but formless. The energy represents the formless entity of this universe, and mass represents the form entity of the universe, and c is the speed. So speed connects the forms and formless. So it says that a mass, suppose a mass, this piece of object, a mass, if it is added with speed of light squared, then it gets vanished. It gets vanished. So formless aspect is mass with huge speed, which is not humanly possible. C square is equals to C equals to 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. That's huge. That's huge. That's not humanly possible. So the conversion is not humanly possible. But the establishment of conversion can be understood. And this can be understood without going through the E equals to mc square also. Because you see, the radiation, there is a beauty of the radiation, you know. The radiation is actually combination of form and formless. Form and formless. So it has got radiation. I am talking about the solar radiation. Solar radiation has got straight lights carrying heat, and along with that it has got particles. So it has got the formless aspect, the heat, with the particle. Now the particle is useful for us. Now that's a different issue, we'll come to that. But the particle is a circular structure. You just correlate with the understanding of cell or atom. Both are circular structure, right? So any formation of the form needs a circulatory movement. Something, a formless, to be converted into form, it has to actually bend its its movement. So the formless moves in straight line, whereas form moves if in circular motion. So a straight line, a linear motion, when it has to be done like this, that means it has to be reduced. So it was going straight, now it is coming in a circular motion. We can actually prove in physics also that if you compare, keeping other aspects constant, if you compare the linear motion and the circular motion is a reduced motion. Circular motion is reduced motion. Otherwise also you can understand, going straight then bending requires reduction of the speed. In the speed you cannot rotate. So the circular motion needs a reduction of the speed, and formless to get converted into form needs reduction of motion, because we understood here also m equals to E upon c square. So if you reduce the speed of the formless, then it becomes the mass. Right. Now with that understanding, we can correlate this proposal that the formless is violet. The violet color depicts the high speed. So in the notes, wherever you get a font in violet, you should correlate with the speed, and there is a deeper understanding about that. And around us you see the static forms, the life form I'm talking about. Okay, Nandini says can't connect. It's regarding network or the topic. Please clarify. Right, Ranga also has joined. So the static forms which cannot move are neutral, and the dynamic form which moves around are the slowest. We, and our blood is red. So there is a clear-cut indication from nature that which is fastest, which is neutral, and which is slowest. So you need to now correlate these things throughout your understanding of this topic. Now definitely before going to the framework directly, we need to talk about two more colors, black and white. The black is actually absence of identity. It absorbs all the colors, and no color gets its identity. It's a kind of darkness. So the black is such, and white is an assimilated identity, because all the colors, if you mix together, you have done this experiment in your schools, I'm sure, that rainbow wheel. If you rotate the rainbow wheel, it becomes white. So all the colors mixing together, it becomes white. So white is an assimilation of the identity. If we can term the identities of each colors as specific identities. Now we need a lifespan. We need a lifespan framework. So framework means a strategy. A strategy, what is a strategy? Strategy is a kind of capability. The framework is a strategy which is a capability for you to decide your life's decisions. So we need a lifespan framework here, which is slow-paced life. The life should be a slow-paced life. It should not be in a hurried. A life should be lived. So living of the life should be slow, red. and the span should be neutral. There should not be any expectation of the lifespan, how big or how small it is. We talked about longevity yesterday. So let the longevity gets evolved within the process. So a craving towards span should be neutral. So the span should be neutral and the framework should be fast. When you are equipped with a framework, then all the decision will be quick decisions. But definitely actions may be slower. We'll come to that little later. So just confirm if you have understood this correlation of the speed and the lifespan framework. Speed and the lifespan framework. Life should be slowest, span should be neutral, and framework should be fast. Guys, I need some kind of comment in the comment box from your side so that I can understand that you are with me. Maybe okay, yes, or any question. Then I'll unfold the lifespan framework in front of you. Guys, are you with me? If you are listening, then please comment in the comment box. Maybe a word or a letter or a question. So Ranga, I see you have joined little late, right? So you need to revise the concept once more, because these are very little deep concept. So right, I get the questions here. Very nice. So the first question is, what is a slow paced life? Slow paced life is the life which is not lived in hurry. So it is a slow paced life actually, unless we disturb it. Right, Asha, I understand you understood it. So Asha says that needs more time to contemplate. Thinking is in red. Thinking is in red. Yeah, so thinking slowly. So contemplation is the right word. Okay. Right. Vikrant says that fast decision and slow action appears to be contradictory. So we'll come to that action related to the think and feel in a while. So you'll get the answer clearly. So Tathapi, connection lost. Pooja, okay. Slow deep thinking leads to faster decision. Right. And then yes sir, I'll revise after this session. Right. So Ranga says he will revise. Now let me, so all of you, Tulika, what about Tulika? Are you there, Tulika? Now, this is that lifespan framework. Now, this is the same picture, the background will be used in coming few slides. How many slides I need to check? Just a second. Let me see how many slides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, coming 9 slides will have this particular connection is not good. Connect is not good, Tulika. So never mind, Tulika, if you are listening the live, that's fine. Otherwise, do catch up the recordings. I'm not sure when you will be able to manage it, but you need to. So this is the lifespan framework, which will be the common background for coming nine slides. Pay attention minutely to understand this deeper. Now, you see here, there are two cones, overlapping cones. Here, there is a violet cone, bigger cone, you see here, the violet cone, and the inside there is a merging cone, green and red merging cone. So it started with green, then it merges to the red, then it further merges to the violet. So it started with green, then it merges to the red, then it finally merges to the violet. Now this point, the 0 point, is the point of birth. The 0 point is the point of birth. Now then our green triangle starts here. So the green cone here that you see, that starts with the birth and it gets over at this point of 1. So here the 0 point, here the point number 1. Here the point number 1. Point number 1 is the completion of physical growth. So we need to understand at this point the very natural purpose of all organisms, primarily of the mankind, is the growth. Now, if we talk about growth, for mankind, there are two types of growth. One is the physical growth, and then other is the cognitive growth. And the cognitive growth is not visible. It is formless aspect. And you see that violet is starting from the point of birth also, but it is going lesser at the beginning, then it merges to the bigger. So the physical growth is that green portion, and point 1 is the end of the physical growth. Point 1 is the end of the physical growth. Right. So after point 1, then the red zone starts. When we complete our physical growth, we actually are ready to procreate, to form union with somebody and procreate and bring some offspring in this universe. The red zone starts there. It's a very slow process. Earlier, the green zone is a neutral process. You are assimilated with the nature and you are growing. You are synced with nature and you are growing. Now you need to hold. In this process, the process of procreation is a very slow process. And you need to hold yourself to execute that process. And there is a reason behind. Because as I said, that the purpose of this life is the growth, physical growth and the cognitive growth. Now, in the process of procreation, what you experience is a combination of physical and cognitive growth. Because you see your offspring growing in front of you, who is a part of your body, because you have donated part of your body. You have given a part of your body which is growing and which is not connected physically with you, but it is growing. So that's an amazing connectionless connection, wireless connection. And there you feel all the pains, all the happiness of that individual who is not connected to you bodily, but part of your body. This is an amazing combination of form and formless, physical and cognitive growth. This is an exercise. of ultimate cognitive growth. This is an exercise of ultimate cognitive growth. Now that red zone gets over when the physical growth of your offspring, plurals or singular, if you have multiple offsprings, then till the last offspring's physical growth. So end of the physical growth of your offspring is the boundary line. End of the physical growth of your offsprings is the boundary line of this union phase, the red zone, where you need to be very slow, very flexible, very mindful in the process. When you exercise this effectively, then you drift to the world, because in this process you have learned how to relate. Now in the violet zone, in the unison, you are here to relate with the universe. And that happens effortlessly if you have done this union phase very correctly. Syncing with nature, understanding nature. So that is why this is union and unison. Union and unison. Green, red, and then violet. Right, there is some question. At what age numerically physical growth completes? Asha, that depends. That's why you see the green and red zone merges actually. These are uniquely specified. It depends, like at what age the physical growth completes, right? So for girls, it is not the attainment of puberty only. It is the attainment of the ultimate physical growth. So for a natural case, the puberty and the physical growth will be merging together, but not necessarily. So the physical growth, at what point the physical growth will be completed, that has to be identified, and it is easily understandable for an individual, which may differ. Somebody may grow till 25 years of age, somebody may grow till 20 years of age. Who knows, right? So tentatively 20-25, this is the range where the physical growth gets completed. But then again, the specific cases has to be observed that way. Right. So the point 1 is the physical maturation of self, and point 2 is the physical maturation of offspring, and 3 is the death, which doesn't have any boundary when it will happen. Right. So lifespan, it has to be a kind of that way. It has to be a neutral way, the perception towards the lifespan. So the 3 can happen anywhere. Anywhere it can happen. Actually, anywhere it can happen, even before also. So later on you can take a screen also of this, or we will share also in this in our group. Now see the same photograph, just is replaced with inputs. Union is replaced with activities, and unison is replaced with thoughts. So inputs are the matters that you put inside. Those are green, neutral, absolutely neutral. And activities should be slow in the process. Slow in the process means it should not be taken in a haste decision. Now the thoughts are fast forming, because thoughts is the speedest, like is the fastest aspect out of these 3. Through thoughts you can go anywhere, anytime, but your activities is substantially lesser in speed than the thoughts, right? So executions should be slow paced, but the thinking should be fast. Execution should have a pace in a slow, but the thinking, the planning, or the kind of strategy, the framework, these all things should be fast. And this should emerge. We'll see this. Now see, the input is correlated with the density, and the neutral density is the needed aspect. And our first phase of the life is primarily has to be the density management. The first phase of our life has to be the density management. So look at a baby. The baby always craves to eat something. The baby always craves to eat something. Just put her finger also in the mouth. Whatever she gets, she tries to put in the mouth only. So the density is the aspect that she manages there. And the right density is the key of satiation. If the individual is fed or ate the right food till the physical growth, till the end of the physical growth, point number 1, the individual will never feel crave throughout his life. So the food craving will go away after the point number 1, and then the sexual craving will take over. And that has to be a slow process. The moment the sexuality occurs fast, in a fast action, then the problem occurs. We'll go deeper into the aspect of sex tomorrow, correlating with the speed aspect here. So the speed is, the activities are replaced with the speed. So the speed maintenance is the next phase, primarily. So the exercise, we have just covered the exercise thing, speed maintenance, those are the elementary level of speed maintenance. But the right speed maintenance starts when your physical maturation is complete and now you are up for procreation. So that time your speed will decide how the life will happen going forward. Then comes the heat. All the thoughts are nothing but heats, because thoughts occupy the vitality. Each thoughts occupy vitality, and vitality means heat. So thoughts are equivalent to heat. More the thoughts, lesser the heat, because thoughts will eat up the heats. More the thoughts in the mind, lesser the heat. So this zone, if you have expertise of controlling or understanding your thoughts and addressing your thoughts, not the controlling word, but the acknowledging your thought process, then your heat control will be higher. These are correlated. I get some question here. In modern life, we live fast in middle phase and slow down later in life. Yes, so Asha rightly pointed out, in modern life we live fast in middle phase and slow down later in the life. So those are visible fast and visible slow aspect. Those are our assumptions, bus, nothing else. So those assumption based fast living actually doesn't take us to anywhere. That's just the acting that we do of being fast. Now see the same photograph, but the words are changed. So this is one of the core idea of nature cure science. Nature cure proposes, and it is dialectical proposals, that each organism is equipped with three capabilities: repair, reproduce and react. Repair, reproduce and react. So in the first phase of life, from 0 to 1 is the phase where we excel in our repairing capability. So better the food that we eat in this phase, better our repairing capability, and we inculcate that repairing capability efficiently. Now in the next phase, it's a reproductive capability execution. Now for mankind, the reproductive is not limited to the giving of physical birth only, but also it is a procreation which actually continues till the death of either the child or the parent. So that is exclusive for mankind, because we don't leave our offsprings after the birth. So there the procreation continues. So that is what is the reproduce execution. That is the second phase from 1 to 2. Now the third phase is the react phase. The react phase starts after the point 2. Also it is there throughout, but in a minimal quantum. The predominancy becomes higher in the third phase from 2 to 3, where the reactions are too much. Reactions are too much in terms of bringing unique responses to the stimuli around. And that is what is the unison level also, where we connect with people and we experience the co-evolution around. Right, Vikrant says, can you explain this slide one more time? Which slide you are mentioning, Vikrant? Please tell me, I'll go back to that slide. Tulika asked, with age, we get tired very easily and need to take rest more. Is it true or a myth? Yes. So it's absolutely true. See, with age, the vitality occupation becomes more and more, because first of all, your cells get distributed and cells get matured. So ultimately, when the maturity of cells occur, then the complexity of the cells also get enhanced. With the complexity of the cells, the vitality needed to occupy that cell will be higher. So total distribution of the vitality throughout the body will be much more than before. So with age, the diminishment of the vitality, experienced vitality, I mean to say, not the quotient, the sense of life gets lowered. But if you keep your body clean, and the maturity of the cell also will not make the cell so complicated to occupy lot of vitality. So with age, you can reverse it also by improving your cellular quality. Yeah, so Sahana asked, elaborate react phase, and then Vikrant says that density, speed and heat, right. So the first phase of the life from 0 to 1 is primarily the density management, where we execute the repairing, because the repairing happens if you maintain the density primarily, because we started our understanding with the food primarily. As I was sharing that in nature cure discussions, 70% and more than that will be the food discussion, and that's the easiest part. And that's the first phase. Now the point here is, if we do not inculcate the right food habit in the first phase of the life, then throughout the life we'll be food craving. We'll be craving for food. We'll be discussing about food only till the death. If the food quality wise food is not satiating us, because the tongue satiation is not the end of it, it's the quality satiation of the whole body. If the quality is not satiating, then we'll be craving for that lifelong. Similar way, the speed aspect is the red aspect, where we need to actually go slow to execute. Go slow doesn't mean stoppage. So just one reminder, go slow doesn't mean the stoppage, but walking, not running. Walking, not running, not giving yourself a push or stress, but keep walking. That is what is the speed. Then the heat is the thought area, because at the later phase of the life, the third phase, we actually lack in vitality conserved. So there we lack the heat also. So the heat management becomes priority at the last phase of the life. So that is the rationale of density, speed and heat. Now Sahana asked me to this thing, react, right. So the reaction, Sahana, the reaction is executed by mankind through its creativity. Through its creative engagement, we execute the capability of reaction. So we try to bring the unique reaction each time as mankind or other organisms also, but there is no proof of claiming that other organisms also love to create, but mankind definitely loves to create, right. So that creativity is equivalent to the reaction, right, more creativity. So you see the creativity, the reaction starts from 0 point and it expands at the third phase, right. So that's the rationale behind the. Okay, I get another question from Tulika. Is procreation also relates to attachment with person, and attachment in spiritual sense is relating to suffering? Please share your opinion. Okay, so there is no opinion here I am sharing, Tulika. I try to share the natural interpretation, dialectical way. So, right. So, Tulika asked that what about the attachment? It's a good question, because see, at the second phase, 1 to 2, if we do not execute procreation properly, on this topic we will be again going deeper tomorrow under the heading of sex and procreation. So here, if we do not execute it rationally, properly means rationally, then we'll lifelong will crave for that, and that attachment is the irrational thing. If we feel attached to it, because this is irrational. See, you feel pain for your child when she gets hurt, but if that feeling leads you to be depressed, that becomes irrational and that becomes an attachment issue. So because the reality is, it is not you. She got hurt, who was a part of your body, but you have detached it from your body already. It is no more your body. You have a sense of relation with her because of the past experience of being attached. Now it is not attached. That fact has to be identified. If you cannot identify that, then you are going in an irrational route. This is what is the detachment and attachment thing. So you need to be detached for sure, but the primary goal is to execute this exercise, this capability of making relations cognitively, which will actually give you the cognitive growth. Right? There comes conscious, consistent conservation. So the first green phase is the consciousness, where you are actually conscious, where you are becoming conscious, you are executing your consciousness. So this morning actually I was discussing with one friend of mine who was saying that the children doesn't do with reasons, doesn't do the things with reasons. This is just our perception. and it is our misinterpretation. Children are programmed to do the things with reasons. We term that the baby is playing, but baby is not playing. Baby is actually learning. Baby is actually exploring new information. It is our interpretation. We say that she is playing. So they have reasons always to do anything. So this is the consciousness execution which we are programmed to, unless we are blocked. Unless we block ourselves, we execute this conscious execution in the first phase. And then it becomes a consistent in our nature. The consciousness becomes consistent in the next phase. And this is a slow process. And as I explained just now, that the procreation process is an exercising phase to execute that consistency. Because consistency requires patience, requires your holding back, your peace within, and your slow executions. And when you are conscious, when you are consistent, then the conservation becomes by default in the third phase. So you become consciously consistent, conserved person. Then comes reason, flexibility, emergence. So the first phase again is reasons. Just now I explained that we always try to find reasons to do something, and that is natural. We should not discourage reasoning. We should not discourage rationality at the first phase of life. Then comes the flexibility. When you start procreating, you need to be flexible. You cannot be rigidly reasoned. Reasonability will not work in that phase. That time you need to execute flexibility. And when you become flexible, you conserve a lot of vitality. Then you sense the emergences, and on the emergences aspect, if I pick up the example of our perceptions, with a relaxed state, with a flexible state, our perception gets hiked. And with the perception getting hiked, you see the things which you were not seeing earlier. And that is what is the emergence. The definition of emergence is appearance out of nothing. But it is not the fact that out of nothing it was appearing. So you see, many a times we search for the things that is something lying in front of us, but we are searching. Because of the blocking of our perception, we don't see it, we don't notice it. So that way the emergence occurs when our perception capability gets hiked because of the flexibility exercise. So this is reason, flexibility, emergence. So on these each topics I have articles. If you are interested to further read, later on I can share those articles. Those are lying on our Facebook page also, on our alumni group also. I keep on sharing those articles. So, but all in all, the first phase is reason predominance, the second phase is flexibility predominance, and third phase is experiencing the emergence. If you can do the previous phases effectively rather. Now coming to the points of action, feeling and thoughts. Action, feeling, thoughts. On this topic, actually on the last day we will be spending more time on this. Action, feeling, thoughts, not last day, tomorrow only. Action, feeling, thoughts, because this is very important. We are talking about the rational analysis here, and the rational analysis always talks about think, feel and act. Always think, then feel, then act. Don't act before. Right? Now this is a reverse thing. Action, feeling and thoughts. Now the action here is when you up to guide somebody, don't guide the feelings or thoughts. When you are guiding somebody, you don't guide the feelings and the thoughts, because these two things are unique. What you can guide is the action. So always, for parenting purpose, don't ask your child to love somebody. Ask to care, because care is an action. Don't ask somebody to respect somebody, because respect is an emergence. You cannot govern that. What you can ask is the act, the associated action is paying attention. If somebody pays attention and that person who we are paying attention is worth, then the respect will emerge. So it is always, if you are prescribing somebody, so parenting is a prescription, right? So you need to guide them. So guiding is always should be through the acts, not through the formless aspects of feelings and thoughts. So feelings and thoughts should come up from within. So the primary phase is the action based, then the second phase is the feeling based, because we feel a lot of, feel love for others who are not connected bodily. So our parents, family, all are connected through bloods. But the union phase, the life partner, we choose from outside that area, from the known area commonly. So that way it's a phase of feelings, and it should be a slow process. Haste decision of love is a wrong decision. You see those love signs, the 14th February is coming in red. So red is a slow process. Love is a slow process. Now thoughts. So love at first sight is not recommendable. You may start liking it. That's an action. Then the love should grow progressively. Thought is further that will emerge out of your feelings. And that thought will lead you to improve your action. And that improved action will lead you to improve your feelings. And that improved feelings will lead you to improve your thoughts. And further improved thoughts will lead you to improve your action, and the cycle will go on. Next is analysis, understanding, realization. Analysis is a slow process. You need to analyze the thing. Then after analyzing the things, you need to understand it. Then you need to realize it. That's the learning curve. So learning without analysis is absurd. So you need to analyze, then you need to understand, then you need to realize. That realization is the actual learning, the knowledge assimilation. So this is the last slide. The form aspect is the first and primary aspect. And then the deciphering, the connection between form and forms. So deciphering means analyzing and finding out. So that way you drift to the understanding of formless. If you do not understand the form and directly try to go to understand formless, then it's a galloping, it's a skipping of the step, and that vacuum will lead you to physical health problems primarily. And we have seen many yogis also, they are excellent in terms of the formless understanding, but they did not take care of their forms, and they suffer early death and physical sufferings. So that's a fact, undeniable fact. The form maintenance is the primary, and then you need to give time to decipher it, then reach to the formless. If you want to skip it, then you invite problems as far as the vitality conservation is concerned, because you are programmed to do that way. If you are contradicting, if you are not syncing with the nature's program, so I repeat again, this is not an opinion, this is just a research based explanation of nature. Now any dialectical discussion or debate I welcome. So I'll end this particular session with this note, and we'll resume at 10 after the breakfast, right? So we'll have a silence of 90 seconds and we'll conclude this session. Right guys, see you at 10.